passed by multiple cars, as I mentioned earlier on, so Nuoff in a very precarious situation, but he often finds himself in these places. He doesn't qualify as well as he races.
Up front, they are getting with Lee Aberdeen and Luca Varani not very far apart at all here. But I just want to see how Alistair Haig deals with Marcello Kessler coming around the old hairpin.
I would say it's not the best decision they've ever made, just not having done that under the safety car, really.
Yeah, they're taking their pit stop strategies from Ferrari lately or something. What's going on?
In turn one, just too much gas on them, too much feet on the loud pedal, and unfortunately he's dropped him all the way down the order. But Philip Hammer is out in front by an 8.91 seconds. Dan Michael is a wall there, sir. And definitely doesn't want to be hitting that earlier on as well.
Difficult, the understeer is in the dirty air through that final corner because it's such a long corner and you get dragged off into the grass very easily. He'll have the slipstream down it towards the chicane. Peterson was briefly alongside, but that slipstream has saved him and kept him in third.
Yeah, Varani now lost a little bit of time to Aberdeen, about half a second. Peterson is Pike's pushed Morton forward up ahead. He's got out of line. It's now Pike going to have a go at Werrell. Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such trouble. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden Miller's back in play.
Moving on to the back end of Phil Jocelyn. So there's been a lot of movers and shakers in this first 2 laps here for race.
Absolutely serious racing league. Everybody's a lot have fun. Yeah, and it's all about the entertainment. So I hope everybody is enjoying themselves out there in the chat. We know that Ron is been enjoying himself watching. The Burger King machine's off into the grass a little bit there. Is that really bunching up now?
Does he have it?
Medeiros is going to get it. He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still slot chopper. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry!
One. Well, welcome everybody. Some more Radical Sim Racing. This is the SR10s, and this is the European race here this evening at the Sebring International Raceway, round 6 of our 2023 World Championship. I am Dean Biggles. Joining me in the lovely commentary box is the lovely Adam Hedgecock that will be here this evening, my friend, as we are only a few seconds away from that practice session finishing. How do you feel about Sebring?
I have a love-hate relationship with Sebring. I'm not going to lie. Parts of it are absolutely wonderful. The bumpier parts, not so much. And seeing how these cars performed in previous weeks, I think the first corner and the last corner are going to be an adventure every time. So yeah, looking forward to it. It should be fun. I expect lots of action to take place at the first and last corner for sure.
Obviously a concrete track, isn't it, compared to your regular tarmac? So that's the reason why it does get quite bumpy. And how about slipperiness too, mate? Do you feel that driving on the concrete is a lot more slippery than regular tarmac tracks?
I'm sure the quick guys will tell you that there's less grip, but at my pace, like everywhere's got grip because I'm so slow over it. I tell you what will be tricky in this car, though, the hairpin. Getting the power down there is going to be that's going to be a tough ask in this car, I think.
Oh, well, we're going to find out because the qualifying session is about to be underway. And as you said, about 10 minutes, right, my friend? Nighttime as well racing on a non-illuminated track, so you just have to count on your headlights to do something about it. As you could see currently in the moment, Luke Maxwell trying to get some temperature into those tyres. Yes, well, and he will get on board with a driver in a minute. Well, perhaps this man right now, Luke, because we already put the camera on him, and we'll jump in. What do you reckon? Ride shotgun with Luke here? And yeah, do you want to give me a hot lap guide? He's on an out lap, but yeah, kind of like what do you
I can certainly try. One thing that is really good with this track, and I will say is we can see it from this onboard. There's lots of cat eyes either side of the track, so although it's not lit up, as you'd expect a racetrack to be, floodlights everywhere, you can still get a rough idea of where you're going. You can still get a rough idea of where your braking marks are. A lot of the guys that I've raced with over the years will use things like the cones or little strips of tarmac here and there to mark their braking spots. So you don't really lose that too much, but it's weird, isn't it? As soon as the lights go out, it's like a whole new beast. You have to relearn everything.
Well, he's going to get ready. This is the back straight coming up in a minute after this little king. You can see the bumps there, as you mentioned, isn't it? It really does get bumpy, and of course, the more that it lifts the car off the track, the less grip you're going to have as he's warming up down the back straight. You can see on the track map, that's where the yellow dot is currently in the moment. That's the driver that we are on board with. It's Luke Maxwell, the team red line yellow. And this is the final corners right now, my friend. You will not be slowing. And yep, go ahead. Give us a hot lap guide, please, Mr. Adam.
Here we go then. He winds it up, gets nice and wide early on the power, as early as he dares, then onto those bumps that we spoke about, the concrete. Look how much the car is bouncing around. Heading in towards someone, pick your braking point, watch out for the little glitch in the wall that's been there forever. Spot the cone on the fence on the inside, that's your apex. He runs wide, that's going to be a 1x straight away. He's going to abandon this lap because go across that curb on the exit of turn 1, and that will be a 1x, and we can see, it's bailed out. Save the tyres and go again.
Fair enough.
Well, that was exciting, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, we didn't get a full hot lap. All right, no. All right, drivers. The drivers that we go on board with, please don't go off the track there and invalidate, because we're trying to get it run. Yeah, Phil across the front. I read your message. Thank you very much for tuning in, my friend. Good to see you back again. The #1 fan here on the JP Broadcasting Network. Phil is everywhere. We love having Phil. Here we go.
Everywhere.
Another opportunity to start it from Guy Robertson this time.
Well, yeah, so he's going to hug that wall on the right-hand side as much as he can. He gives it a bit of a wide berth. There's the cone again. As soon as you see that, get back on the power. You should have enough tarmac on the outside to keep you in bounds. Spot your braking point for this tricky little left, right, left. Watch out for the curbs. They are very bumpy here. This corner is a lot slower than what you think it is, but as soon as it opens up, get down on the power, under the bridge, run down to the biggest braking point on the circuit, the hairpin. Under the Mobile 1 bridge, there's your cones, there's your braking point. Get it turned nice and early and on the power as early as you can. It's a weird kind of, it's almost like a chicane on the exit that you have to kind of navigate your way through, but he's done that successfully. Now on his way back towards the comms booth and everyone else. Nice little long chicane, I call this. It's not really a chicane as you would expect, where you're flicking over curbs, but you have to go right and then left as normal through the right hand. A little bit of off camber on the inside there, can throw your car out. Get on the power nice and early, and then for another one of those kind of how brave are you situations. Run the curbs if you dare, get the car slowed down. You want to take a bit of this inside curb, lots of the outside curb, off the track entirely where you don't get an off track, and then on the power as early as you can. Try and use all of the outside curb if possible, and then the long wait. You know this is the most important corner on the track. You have to be really brave. Try and get out as far as you can so you get the straightest line to the apex. Keeping it nice and tight here with Robertson drifting out a little bit, trying to get on the power. The car's just not settled really for him, and then all the way to the start finish line, and that's a lap. And that was P15 lap. 1:58.9.
There you go. Thank you very much. While we do have that, it's a lone qualifying, so they're only going to see themselves on the track. We're going to see the cars, or we'll see on the tracks any of those locations that they have. Currently at the moment, as you can see, Barbara's got the top of the timesheets for the Pro class. Top of the timesheets at the moment for the AM class is this Portuguese driver, Jose Gonzenga. Yep. Anyway, but real quick, my friend, while we have a little bit of time before we get into the race soon, is going over, my friend, the championship standings for the Pro class. Let's see if I'll pull that up for a second. If you'd like to breathe through that real quick there.
Yeah, sure. So John McCutchinson is currently leading that. For the man who said he was just here to try and do the best he can, he's currently top of the pile. Erin Baba and Rudolf Nagal ran out your top three. Tim Bertie, Jack Ashton and Luke Maxwell are your top six, with Kika Ming, Jurgen Frank, Mike Bousson and Kane Halliburton. They are your top 10. And then we have Larson, Bremer, Crab, Scheider and Lip, who are all trying to get themselves into that coveted top 10.
Excellent, excellent. And then real quick over the AM class.
That was quick, wasn't it?
Yeah, no.
For the AM category, the man we're looking at right now, George Gonzaga, he is leading away by 2 points over Kim Andre Bjorklund. And then they've got a 12-point gap back to Gordon Haug. They are your top three. David Walters, Menno de Graaf, Guy Robertson, Gary Truby, David Rolliston, Glenn Christensen and Daniel Cascado. They are your top 10 in the AM category, with Chris, Max Davies, Bastian Lindlau, Stephen Mellis, Damien Gee and James Barry rounding out your top 15.
Yep, that's not the Barry that James calls out in the introduction video. It's Barry!
Oh, no,
it's Barry!
That's
it's
Nick Barry.
I think we've all heard that now, haven't we, my friend? We've over and over again. That's fun. And that's the entertainment and excitement that you're going to get here at the JP Broadcasting Network. I do apologize, I did not play your ad. I had a little bit of an issue with some of the setup there in the green room in the production trailer. So, of course, Mr. Hedgecock, do you want to just to quickly elaborate what your services do here for the JP Broadcasting Network?
So when I'm not in the commentary booth, I'm usually trackside with my virtual print screen camera button, taking pictures for sim racers, for artwork for their wall, for wallpapers for their computers. I've seen a fair few of those floating around when we've had driver on board, so that's kind of fun to see. But yeah, that's what I do. That's the service I offer, as well as reading out championship orders.
And on top of it, of course, the sponsors for this event is supported by the iLounge Racing.co.uk. descriptions in there, of course. One of the many sponsors that support Racing is Alive, of course, for them, for the iLounge. So make sure you check them out, the products and services that they offer as they're supporting the Radical European Series and the Radical America Series will be coming up a little bit later on tonight. You peoples, you lovely people out there in the UK, they'll have to stay up to some crazy hours for that one. James will no doubt be either having a rest and waking up for that one, or staying up for it. 1 minute and change to go on qualifying session. So Christopher Lipp for the Lipp train. Top timesheets right now. In fact, it's a German domination, as you can see there, for 1, 2, and 3. Jürgen Frank and Tim Bertie.
I was just thinking that, yeah, great performance from Christoph Lipp there. Funnily enough, I'm looking at the timing screen. He hasn't been overly quick everywhere. He's just been quick enough everywhere to claim there's 8,000th between him and Jürgen Frank. So that's nice, as close as you'd ever want it. Jack Ashton doing pretty well in P5, looking pretty solid out there. Top 10 are covered by just over a second, like a smidge over a second. So that's a testament to how quick all of those guys are. And the man we rode on board with for a lap, oh no, it wasn't. That was Robertson, wasn't it? Gonzaga was the man that we were looking at just a moment ago. He is leading the AMS at the moment in P11.
We have a P-lip on there. If you can look at the moment on the bottom there for the qualifying thing, it says a P-lip. P-lip, it's just at the fastest. Yeah, it's this man here. Just a little bit of confusion there because it's Christopher Lipp, but his first name is a P. P. Christopher Lipp. There, that's why I got it confused. It looks like he's going even faster. He has done it. A 54.383. Oh, 438. There it is. And he sets it right on the dying stages of the qualifying session as it ends, my friend. So we'll go over there and get you those, pull up those results from the qualifying session to see who's going to be starting where, how, why. Hopefully delivering the best that they possibly can. We'll pull up the grid right now.
Here we go then. It is Lipp on pole. They stonking lap right at the end there that we saw. Jürgen Frank joins him on the front row with Tim Bertie and Erin Baber behind him on row 2. Jack Ashton and Maximilian Scheider are next in line with Nagel, Bremer, Larson and Buson rounding out your top 10. Top of the AMS, George Gonzaga shares row with James Barry, 11th and 12th. Then we have Gordon Haug, David Wollaston, David Walters, more like, sorry, Kim Andre Bjorkland, Gary Truby, Menno de Graaf, Guy Robertson and Stefan Mellis rounding out your top 20. And then we have Chris Davis, we have John McCutchinson. Oh, he's going to be devastated with that all the way back there. And Luke Maxwell as well, right at the back of the pack. Two very fast guys. Apparently didn't get a qualifying time in.
Yeah, I was going to say, John's not in there. John's at the back there. Didn't even set a qualifying time. Either very, very confident he can slice his way through the field, or but not had some sort of technical problem, some sort of issue during qualifying. But it will be a standing still start, which is going to be fun. We love it. Bit of carnage, bit of action. Track's going to be, the tires are going to be cold. The drivers are going to, and the adrenaline's going to be through the roof. The heart rate, no doubt. We put a heart rate monitor on these drivers, I'm sure. It'll be interesting in the future. Here we go. Let's go racing. In Sebring, and let's see how it's going to pan out into the first corner, my friend. This is always going to be the one that gets nerve-wracking. So far, so good, actually, as a lot of drivers do get through quite comfortably.
You say that. There was a big one just off the line. I just caught wind of it. I'm seeing the tracker is lighting up red right now. There's a few people involved. McCutchinson, Ashton, Barry, to name 3. But the front guys seem to get away just fine. Gonzaga, who we're looking at from a distance right now, he has gained a couple of spots. He's up to P8 and leading the AMS again.
Not bad at all, as I say, for sure. And look at that too, as we see that. We'll go back and have a look at that replay a little bit later on, because there's battles you can see brewing right now between Larson and Buson. And just behind them is that man, you say, George Gonzalez. And let's go riding on board with him at the moment, because you can kind of get a little bit of a bird's eye view of how it appearing is for him. And I think he's got them overtaken. Did they just come together? Oh no, there it is. Got past one. Maybe look at him. He's very, very pacey, isn't he, there for the... I thought he was in the AM class. He is in the AM class. For sure.
He is in the AM class.
I don't know what's showing up on the yellow up there, but he's definitely in the AM class.
Buson just had a little off ahead of him just then. One thing I have noticed with Gonzaga, by the way, he does like to throw the car into corners. which is why I often think that he's in the pro class. Little theory, by the way, about the P's and the A's in the names. I think they're the pros and the AMs. So some of them still have P in their name to mark them as
that
pros,
would make perfect sense. Okay. You learn something new every day.
Maybe. Lip at the front. He's got just over half a second lead over Bertie. So he's had a great start to the race. And Baba has had a good start as well. What happened to Frank? Jürgen Frank was right up there at the start, wasn't he? But he has lost himself 3 positions. So something not quite right for Jürgen Frank there, who we should be happy that he is here because he was travelling back from the Nürburgring earlier today, wasn't he?
Right.
He was there this weekend. SimRC were having a team weekend away, from what I understand. So he was not sure whether he'd make it back, but good to see that he did.
And what's interesting too, that John is not racing. As you can see, he's out. He's absolutely come in and he's even put a lap in. Hasn't even put a qualifying session. He's retired. As George is still battling for this position at the moment, and it has Gonzaga got it done. Look like he may very well has on Haag. Gordon Haag. Not quite yet. Look at this. Great racing. So we do have a lot of action to try to capture. It's going to go 3 abreast in here. Not wise or suggested that we'll back off at the moment and make it 2.
Who is that right behind him? That's Walters right behind, isn't he? He's looking every which way he can to try and get involved in this. But this has been side by side for the best part of half a lap. This is incredible stuff. We see just behind Walters, we've got Nagal, who lost 4 places from the start. So he's looking to get back up the pack as well. This is going to be a
blinking
battle all
light
the
of
way
death
through.
at the worst possible moment. That's exactly what happens. You saw that, didn't you? As we rode on board there for a second, he's just coming into a corner. He's trying to spot his braking point, knowing there's a car around it, and it blinks, and the blinker causes that slight little network error that you get with the server. And just like that, that causes an accident. That's so unfortunate because you never really want that to happen. And I'll have to show you that replay real quick. Look at that. And that's it, isn't it? Like you'll see a blink of the car up the road. See? And then he's trying to go into the braking corner. Bang. And that's no fault to the driver up the road and no fault, of course. Unfortunately, George was just the receiving end of that one. Real quick, going back to the start of the race. Yeah, this is where Jack Ashton crashed. Got lots of action captured. So this is here. Look at that. That's the reason why. How many times have you done that, my friend? Bogged down and the car has to avoid him on the inside and outside, and that's exactly what you mentioned. And then it turns into a demolition derby at that point where everybody you almost want to just pull off for a second and just wait for it all to happen. Yep, there it is. That was the incident at the start of the race, my friend. Well, Lip is leading, and further back the action, here it is. So Nagel and Waters going for it.
They are indeed. A little bit of news from the virtual paddock, by the way. Erind Baba was concerned about how quick he would be this week because he'd done no practice. So if you're Bertie or Lip just ahead of him, watch out. Watch out.
Three-way battle here at the moment. So that's what you're seeing currently on P10. And that's Nagel, you can see. Miguel. Am I going to get that right? The 22 machine. There he is. So he is essentially at this point just following everybody. I'd like to go on board because I want to see that because it gives us a good indication of the battle that's up the road. And he can sit here and just see if they're going to kind of like do something about it. As you said, for the SimRC team, they're quite busy this weekend in Nuremberg. We were last weekend. Look at that.
So much sliding was going on.
I feel like at the moment, I feel like right now, I've just jumped in a shotgun with you in the car there. Look at this, up the road. What would you be doing, thinking right now? Adam, you're sitting this. You could take opportunity of it, couldn't you? Maybe. Seize it.
I mean, you got to go for a gap if there's a gap there, but you don't want to be slowing yourself down. And he's just been muscled out of that, didn't he? We saw Walters got past Haig, but Nagal couldn't quite do it, although Walters and Haig are going side by side again into turn 1. That's brave. That's brave, and that's why it's brave.
No.
There's contact. Did they both survive? They have both survived. Incredible.
That's what you said. It was brave,
that.
wasn't it? There's a flash. I don't know if that's like a yeah, thank you very much, or a hey, I'm saying something like that in the cockpit. I don't know.
The thing with turn 1 is that it's so fast it's generally a one-line corner, unless you've got a very compliant compatriot on the outside of you who doesn't mind if you use them to keep you in bounds. I have a feeling that's what's just happened.
Okay. Thank you for that. This is the battle a little bit further up the field here at the moment. We're looking currently through the eyes of the driver of Bubba in P3 that you'd mentioned, that you spoke about just before. And he has, of course, Mr. Christopher Lip leading this for the Lip Train Racing Team, and Sim Birdie for the Sim RC. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Then you've got a gap, as you can see on your timing table, of 1.6 seconds down to Frank, who's got essentially what I like to call a DRS train behind him of Schneider, Bremer, and Larson. So, and then you have another big gap forming further back from there. So, yeah, multiple different little packs that are forming, and almost like a NASCAR race or an IndyCar race, isn't it? With the cars bunched up together in that little slipstream, but not as powerful as effective. But see how this one pans out. We also, let's go back further, just down here to maximum. Schneider, and he is battling for that P4 position that currently Jürgen Frank holds.
He is indeed tucked up behind Jürgen. It's strange seeing Jürgen so far away from the front of the pack, isn't it? Let's be honest. But he does have this little train behind him, as you said, with Scheider, Bremer, Larson. None of them are slouches, so they're all going to be giving him the hurry up, wanting him to get back onto the back of Baba, who's up in P3. Just to clarify real quick, Jack Ashton, who we saw have the incident at the start of the race, is back out on track. He was in the pits, he got some repairs done, and he is now circulating again, albeit
we
a
do
long
have
way
some
behind.
We do have some repairs, but we have a couple of 4 drivers out, actually, as you mentioned. Well, we never saw Mark. This is Guy Robertson for the Team Dre. Now, let's see what happened to Guy. He is still in this session. I think that's just a little... That's something I do all the time, Guy. Don't worry about that, my friend. In fact, I can't even make a lap around here. In fact, I've never done a lap around here, so don't worry about that. Yeah, I don't know why the other drivers of Mike, James, and I don't know why John didn't even start this one. Dan's lead the championship too, isn't he, for the pro class, and not here to defend any more points unless it's a drop week for him. But this is it. This is an opportunity here now for Baba, as you said, who didn't get much practice at all on this track. Looking like he pretty much is doing well, the Belgian driver.
He is. He's certainly keeping Bertie honest. And of course, these guys start fighting. That's going to create a gap to Lip, and we've seen this track has got lots of long straights on it. You want to be within a second of the car in front. Look at the draft there from Baba. Heads to the inside. Bertie feathers it out, lets him have it. That's how you let someone pass you without compromising your own race. Bertie knows right there that if they start fighting, Lip will disappear off up the road. So he's working with Baba and try and catch him back up again. Frank, while that was happening, has got the gap down to 1.5 seconds. So the train chasing that pack are on the move.
And he can't want another man on the move at the moment. Here's George for the Insert Name Racing Team, getting the job done as well on top of there of Bjorkland there for the Sim Racing Norwegian. And this is the thing I was actually just doing as we casted a Formula 1 race for the W13s for the first time here on the JP Broadcasting Network. There's Norwegian driver in that one too. Go back to this other battle, of course, with Tim Birdie and see if he's going to get this one back of exchanging those positions between the drivers. But not a lot of Norwegian drivers in Formula 1, as you know. In the past, so you've got obviously your Finns, and sometimes there's been some Swedish drivers, but more Finnish. But the Norwegian drivers are absolutely some of the best rally car drivers in the world. A lot of these these different open category wheel cars, GT3s and all that sort of jazz, endurance racing. And it's always surprising why there never really that many Norwegians in Formula 1, considering how fast they are in all the other racing categories.
I kind of feel it's like a national sport. So like insert Scandinavian country here, they prefer to do X type of racing, where insert Scandinavian country B here, they prefer to do Y type of racing. You know what I mean? Like I have that feeling that they kind of nationally migrate towards one particular type of racing.
And well, you're right, but and I mean, they're talking about I think they're very close to having the most amount of record of drivers in rally car. Rally, of course. I mean, there was I think I watched a video the other day about David Coulthard being in a rally car with one of the rally world champions, and he got out there going, "I'm scared out of my depth." Like he's like, I don't know how they can do it. That's just the concentration is just amazing. And this is David Coulthard, of course, has been many years in Formula One, driving one of the fastest cars on the planet around racetracks, and he's scared in a rally car. So he's just like, it's a totally different level. And the Norwegians, well, they do a very damn good job at it. At the moment, in this SR10 Radical Series, well, the Germans and the Belgians are doing a very good job, because at the moment they're the top 5. I'm not quite sure. Schneider, he's got a couple of different nationality flags there, but judging by that name, the man's probably from Deutschland as well. Somewhere around that region.
Norwegian-wise, we've got 3 in the top 12, so that's a quarter of the field.
All we need to do is add a bit of ice to it and a few more corners there, and then they'll be right on top of that one. Birdie's still hanging in there after the Baba overtake before. Happy to tuck in behind. No fuel or pit stops are required for this one, so it's a straight shoot out to the end, my friend. But you think about the temperatures, is that going to be a little bit more forgiving on the tyres?
Running around here in the nighttime conditions is miles better than daytime conditions. I can absolutely assure you of that. During the daytime it gets very, very toasty here, so these guys will be happy that it's a lot cooler. They can really push the car and push the tyres much, much more than they would have been able to normally. Just having a quick look at Frank and Scheider. Bremer's dropped back a little bit from them. They're still only 1.5 seconds behind, so they're not, like, they've kind of stalled out a little bit. They're not catching Bertie and Baba anymore. Lip is gradually pulling away too. Yeah,
Lip's got a bit of a gap to this. Larson at the moment. Last of the late breakers, Larson. Oh, he's going to go up the inside here. If he gets a good exit, gets a loud pedal down, he may very well have this, Adam. At least he's going to have a little bit of speed difference. Tuck in now, look at that. Now you can see that's the slipstream there. That's a massive effect. He's going to have to fully send it here now, right? Isn't he? Up on the inside, tuck it in there. And will it be job done? As long as he stays within the chicane there and doesn't get too off track. But hey, I tell you what, Larson's not giving up about a fight, that's for sure. It's a Dutch driver, my friend. He's like, I'm going to show you a bit of the max spirit in that car.
Absolutely. Bremer done the right thing there. Sorry. Hang on. Why is my my timing's a little bit skew with. Okay. But it's you could see there the compliance of turn 1. You know, rather than try and hold it around the outside, let the guy on the inside have the corner, tuck back in, and then try and go on the attack again when you get into the twisty section just afterwards. So that's how turn 1 is usually done.
There you have it, my friend. Yeah, exactly. So there's those battles you can see currently. That's the one that we're looking at and focusing on, and it's pretty much one of the closest battles. I didn't have to see much else from some accidents, so this is Amino de Graaf, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Now, he is the other Dutch driver, currently running in P8 in the moment. You reckon, I'd say he's just gone too deep into this corner and run off. Oh, they actually managed to hold it there, unless there's another little off-track excursion. But I don't know why the race controllers alert me to go crash, crash, crash. Doesn't look like a crash to me, my friend. It just looks like you're just a little slower into the corner. That's all. Nothing wrong with that. Oh, no, here it is. Just gone too deep there, locked up the brake. Yeah, that's a race control crash. Oh, unless somebody slams into the side of the... Anyway.
Easily done. I'm really surprised that we haven't seen more spinners at the hairpin. And I don't mean that in a...
No, because it's a difficult track, you're right. Like, I mean, in any car, it's tough.
This car wants to spin round at you just for looking at the accelerator pedal. So, that, it's fair play to the drivers that they're not spinning it up. But I'm kind of surprised that we haven't seen more kind of getting a little bit leery there. We see Bjorklund. Look at him tucked right up behind Maxwell. Bjorklund, of course, an AM race winner. He knows what it's all about. There's that cone on the... on the fence.
And then see those bumps when you're on the exit, so you want to get the power down. You want to use as much of the track limits, of course. You always know. Short of the apex, spot the apex. You want to be essentially every corner. You want to be straight through as quick as possible. You don't want to go off essentially the racing line. But easier said than done, isn't it, when you're approaching different speeds and dirty air, and depending on your tire temperature and all the other jazz you have to deal with. That's a lot to get it perfect every single time. A lot easier when you're the car like Lip with almost a 1.5 second gap up the road. He doesn't have to worry too much about pressure behind or in the dirty air. He can just drive on by. But more than anything, I think Birdie might be the one that's thinking about anything more than Bubba, actually. So, do you think by allowing him through there, he's happy to sit behind that Adam, and then he's got time now to try to do something in the next 13 minutes for an overtake and steal P2?
I kind of think he was hoping that himself and Bubba could work together, slingshot each other back towards Lip, but it hasn't quite played out. Bubba is just that little bit quicker, enough to keep Bertie behind. But Bertie's just not been close enough yet to really kind of put some more proper pressure on him and get back past him. Although he's only a 10th behind coming into turn 1. Did Bubba have a little lift there? It seemed like he had a little bit of a lift, and that let Bertie back through.
Oh, it's not over yet. More than anything, look at Frank in the background. He's happy to once again see this battle, because when they are battling like this, it actually brings the other drivers into play. And look at that, Frank, all of a sudden, that's currently running in P4, is happy that this is continuing, because like that, if anything, has dropped Bubba into the clutches of Jürgen Frank right now, right here, right, and then he's going for it too. Well, I didn't get the outside too much there. This is more, you have to explain this one a little bit more, Adam, because I'm not a race driver. I wouldn't even know where to brake on this track. Like, it's different cars, different places, different times, but I know.
It is. You see Bubba and Frank. Bubba having a little bit of a weave there just to try and get Frank some space.
Yeah.
Bubba then lost it going into the break. It's really hard, especially that close when you've got all the draft, trying to pick your braking point without locking up, without going too deep. Gonzaga now having a look, the same corner, thinks better of it, right behind Walters there. Haig a little bit up the road from them.
He is, I don't know, the timing tower looks a little bit weird, strange at the moment. I do apologize about that one. Oh, contact! Now, what's going to happen? We've seen sportsmanship before, isn't it? Like, I mean, is he going to... No, maybe that driver's retired, isn't he, completely, wasn't it? That's David Waters. Where is Waters? I'm trying to find Waters. No, he's gone. Yeah, he's lights out, unfortunately. I hope... Because I don't know if he's just got upset with that one, because we've seen it before, the sportsmanship. They'll generally sometimes tend to slow down and then say, okay, we'll take that place back. It's just a racing accident. But this is a battle for... There it is. So, Bertie and Frank. So, Frank gets P2. Makes his way up. What an overtake. Let's have a look at that one. I think that's just a textbook overtake kind of mentioned, but let's have a look at from this perspective, isn't it? Great exit here down the start line finish. And it looks to me, my friend, and I hate to say it, but it's like taking candy from a baby, doesn't it?
It does.
Tim Birdie's no baby.
I have a feeling there was a quick chat in the SimRC Discord right there saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to come through here. I'm on fresher tyres. I'm a little bit quicker. Let me through. I'll drag you back up to him.
Fair enough. Yeah,
if there are team orders in SimRC.
Yeah, team orders.
That's huge speculation. I just want to say that it might be that they don't do things like that, but that's what it kind of looked like.
We need to get somebody down there just to hack into the race messages so we can listen to it to actually relay it back. Where's that? We need a Ted. Yeah.
We do need a Ted. Yeah. Oh, imagine that. That'd be great, wouldn't it?
Ted Kravis. See, here's one for you, my friend. Somebody was saying, is Ted Kravis actually related to Lenny Kravis? Now, I've heard rumors that he is or isn't, but I don't know how true that rumors are.
So, Ted has done this many times on over the years. He kind of speculates that they are kind of related in a weird way, but never backs it up with any kind of facts.
Okay. I guess it's like...
not that I've seen anyway.
I would be interested to see... I don't think Lenny Kravitz is much of a Formula 1 fan or whatever, but I'd be interested to see if Lenny Kravitz was actually... They're going at it again here. So I wonder if they're pushing these two here along, as you said, the Sim RC teammates. But I'm wondering one time if you ever see Lenny Kravitz at a Formula 1 racetrack, because, you know, a lot of celebrities now are turning up more and more to the US tracks and other events around the world. If they were both meet each other, what would he say in interviewing him? Like, all right, Lenny.
Which one would be the more famous one in that scenario?
All right, uncle or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, who knows? This is a little bit of entertainment we're providing as we are getting down to 8 minutes and change, because they're the only 2 battles you can see currently on track at the moment between these 2 drivers. 4 drivers essentially. Lip, mate. I mean, Christopher Lip for the Lip Train Racing. That he's got everything. He's ticked the right boxes off, hasn't he, mate? He's got it on pole. Schnitzel on the side of the machine too, so he's even got a little snack in the cockpit of the car if he gets hungry. Some nice German schnitzels. I love them. When I've been to Germany and Oktoberfests, twice I think I went to Oktoberfest. It was amazing. Love the food. Love the environment. I suggest to tick that one of those off your bucket list of things to go around the planet. You get
definitely on the list of things to do. Go and get a nice stein of beer and a load of
and
sausage and pretzels.
All the pretzels and the food and everything. And of course, not on top of it, when you come out, after having a few brews or not, you go on the roller coaster rides in the sideshow alley that's out there as well. Because you got all the, they call it Dutch courage, of course. You're like, yeah, that thing looks great. And then, of course, you just had like these 1,000 steins. And actually, the beer's really good. I woke up the next day and did that for 3 days in a row. Didn't even have a hangover after drinking all night.
That's impressive.
Yeah, because the beer's fresh, mate, my friend. It's great. Anyway, enough about German beer. That's only doing it because we've got 3 Germans in the lead of this race at the moment. Lip, Frank, and Birdie.
We have in the AMs. We'll have a quick check-in with those guys. We've got Haug is leading that one for Sim Racing Norway. He does have a little gap as well. He's got nearly 4 seconds back to Maxwell, who's a pro, and then another 5 or so seconds back to Bjorklund. So he's worked himself into a wonderful position here. We see Gonzaga trying to get himself back into play, weaving behind Bjorklund.
Yeah.
Hugging the wall.
It is showing him currently, I don't know why, but it's currently showing him at the moment in the yellow. But he's not in pro, he's the AM class. So remember, he's leading the AM class too. Championship, and at the moment he's not leading this one. He's got himself up at a P2, so that's just exactly what he needs. But yeah, as you mentioned it before, isn't it? Gordon Haug there for the Sim Racing Norway team. It looks like he's going to steal that one, because what is the gap currently at the moment between those P1 and P2 in the AM class? It's quite difficult, isn't it, when you have those pro classes?
You're looking at about 5.5, 6 seconds.
Okay, yeah, I can see it down there to the bottom of the right-hand screen, the battle for P10, yeah. So that's a lot to make up. I don't think he's going to do it unless there's mistakes made. Further back in the field there, we've got Ivan Brammer there. He's gained 1 position, 3 positions gained there for the other Norwegian driver. So they are coming to come in here and say, okay, Mr. Dean Biggles, what are you talking about? Norwegians can't win motor races. I only said Formula 1, and I said they can't. They just say, no, it's enough Norwegians. But in the radicals, they do pretty good, my friend.
They certainly do. Biggest mover of the day to this point, Luke Maxwell, gain of 13. After not qualifying, he's driven back through the field.
Good catch on that one, my friend. As I showed you the biggest gainers there. Unfortunately, you have to go to Ashton. That's gained 13 positions lost. So, well, they always say someone's trash is someone's treasure, right? Isn't that what it is? Yeah.
You're much kinder. I usually say the biggest loser.
I never like that word. I really don't. They use it a lot. I cast a lot of Rocket League, and some of the Rocket Leagues would have a winner's bracket and a loser's bracket. And I'm like, I just like, what did you call it? An upper and a lower bracket? Because nobody's a loser in any of esporting events. You just like, you got to have a winner, of course, and you got to have somebody that doesn't win. Just the word loser just sounds too negative, considering everybody's so positive, and it's a lot of work into not just motor racing, of course, but other esports events. We'll go off that topic, kid. But yeah, you're up. We'll just say second best or third best. That sounds better.
Yeah.
And you imagine if you stand up at the Olympics and you're right next to you is the person that won the gold medal and you got the silver medal. You wouldn't be like, I'm the first loser. Get a silver medal, man. I came second. Be happy with that.
Yeah, but you didn't win. Bremer is looking to not be runner-up or loser behind Larson, isn't he?
No.
Right.
Final chance,
right
isn't it?
His coattails.
Just under 4 minutes to get something done here.
They have putting the pressure on, lost a little bit of time there. Scheider's only a couple of seconds up the road again. We can see them all in a line. So any any mistakes from Scheider or Larson, Bremer is going to be right there, right on it. They've got a massive gap behind them, so it's all to play for between these three.
Oh, yes, is he pumping now? This is the thing that goes through your mind as a racing driver. Of course, we can watch Adam if you want on the JP broadcast or JP Racing League on Mondays. So if you want to get in there and throw some commentating curses at the commentator himself, do it in the chat. Dad, take it easy on Adam. Great bloke. But yeah, mate, right now, I mean, you know, you feel, look at Frank just put the fastest lap in, but 1.8 down the road. I'm not quite sure he can do anything. Is the fact that, you know, what do you do? I mean, the worst thing isn't for a driver is to throw something away right now after you. Oof, you can see a little slide there from Ivan. Yeah, throwing it away, isn't it, mate? Like, you make a little mistake, like, essentially in the last lap after doing such great work, and it's like, it's gutting, isn't it, for you as a race driver?
It absolutely is. I always take the approach of, am I still gaining from being in this position? So the championship is a whole season thing. At this point in this race, am I risking losing more by pushing, or is it still a good win for the championship as a whole? That's how I look at it, thinking that's generally why I don't race at the front end of a championship.
Yeah, but you could win a championship just by getting thirds and fourths the whole season consecutively too. Remember that. You don't have to win races every single time. I like that mentality, my friend, of at a point where you realize, look, you know, I have to settle in. Like, you're looking at this right now going, you probably think Bremer's doing the same thing. Like, all right, I'm going to push, but I'm not going to push that much where I'm going to make a mistake, because what I have right now currently is a P7 guaranteed. I've gained 1 position in the race. So, got to be happy with that. You do see some drivers, don't you, with, I guess that comes down to experience, or, you know, sometimes, I don't like the word immaturity, but just like, they just go, no, I've got to get that, I've got to get this position, and they give it everything, and then bang, all of a sudden you see them around facing the wrong direction, and they've thrown away 3, 4, 5 positions by doing it.
They're also the kind of guys that quit out of leagues after only a couple of races because
right,
they're out of contention.
Yeah. But that's experience, and you see experienced league racing drivers have that patience because they know it's a long season. You can win based on your pace. You know for a fact that, you know, in other leagues when you're racing, like, okay, I'm not going to be winning the championship, but your target might be, can I get third in the championship? Can I get fourth based on my pace? That's a good setting, isn't it? And then when you do approach the next season, you're like probably going to set your targets a little higher next time and go, all right, I'm going to try to get third or second in the championship, not come into a championship going, I'm going to win it. That's great attitude to have, but if you know for a second you're half a second slower than some of the drivers on the field, your chances of doing that aren't going to be as great.
This is very true. You know what else is true? It is white flag.
Yeah, here we
and
go.
Frank has dragged Bertie to within a second of lip.
You're right. Look at this. As I was battling, I'm missing this action. Good for you to catch this. Has actually dragged a couple more cars along here, my friend, too. Here we go. Whoa, that's a slowdown, isn't it? It's got to be.
That is a slowdown.
Oh, that's horrible. Just as we're talking exactly about that situation, but further up the road. This battle's still resuming. Now, where is our race leader? We'll keep an eye on that too, so we don't miss the race leader going across the line. Whoa, what's happened to Lip? They've exchanged. Has Lip got a slowdown? Is he out of gas? He can't be out of fuel. There's some problem right now.
I think he is.
Oh no, he's off the racing line now. They're going to be catching him tooth and nail. Look at this. There's Larson. Bang. Oh, this has gone all pear-shaped, just like that. The last dying lap of this race. We're going to actually have to go over to race leader because there is Jürgen. He's coming around the corner right now, probably just wondering on the team radio with the CMRC going, what is going on, guys? There's all sorts of drama. He will have his teammate finish behind him, if you like to call the ending to this one, if he gets it. Yeah.
Here we go, Jürgen Frank. What a drive back from obscurity, really. He was nowhere early in the race to win here at Sebring. Teammate Tim Bertie follows him home. Scheider, we're just waiting for him to come across. Oh, contact on the line with Larson, both scrapping to try and get that place. Bremer, the man we were talking about, being content in 7th, is now in 5th. Brilliant drive from Bremer, gain of 3 in the end for him. Baba comes across the line to finish 6th. And then we're waiting Miguel, Haig and Maxwell. Bjorkland has just overtaken Lip. Lip is done.
Oh,
is he entirely out of fuel?
That? What has happened? How could that happen after leading the race the whole time?
somebody wasn't looking at their fuel gauge, I think.
That's hard.
Haig wins the AM category.
Look at that, Lip. Is
Bjorklund.
anybody going to push him across? But that's the thing. Sometimes I've seen drivers go, come on, get him out there. Look where he is on the track. He's 11th. And approaching that corner at a very slow pace. He's off the racing line. And I don't know. If you had a teammate right now, my friend, and he doesn't seem to have any other teammates, he's out alone there on the Lip train, he's going to need some, I don't know, engines to push him across, mate. You would do that, wouldn't you, Adam? If you're a teammate and you're way down and you're like, all right, you can literally just push the driver across the line. It's been done before in racing leagues.
I generally finish my race and then go round and then push him so he can finish.
Okay.
That's generally
Maybe
how I
somebody
do it.
might do that. Still, look at that. He's just... he got a feel for it. Look at that. And got Ashton now that we got there. And
Ashton can't believe his luck right now, can he?
Stefan here. Yeah. Wow. This is Malice. He's the only one literally across the line apart from Christopher Lip, as you mentioned. That has got to be... we were talking about gut-wrenching, like just, if you make a mistake or something like that. And, like gasoline, my friend. He's out of that one. So Jürgen gets the job done because they, in the SimRC team, have calculated enough fuel, I guess, in the tank of that car.
It certainly seems it. I'm mind blown. I'm still really confused at what's just happened here. Surely you would have a fuel calculator on the go. Surely.
Yeah, I hope that we do get a chance to chat to the lads about that. Even, obviously, if we can get a chat to Christopher Lip, because he did have flawless, but he got it on pole. He was fast during the whole race. He held off anybody attacking him. But then perhaps we do get him for an interview. That'll be the reason why we can ask that question, because he'd be like, well, you were running on vapors the whole time, my friend. Results coming up right now, if you'd like to go over them, please.
Of course. Here we go, then. We're looking at P6.
Why is those results showing that exactly?
It's okay. I can read it down.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Frank.
I realised I've hit the wrong. I'm a dummy, my friend. My bad. Here we go.
No, there we go. Jürgen Frank was your winner. We saw him cross the line just shortly before Tim Bertie and Maximilian Scheider. They are your top three. Larson, Bremer, Baba and Nagal round out a top 7 of pro drivers. Then Gordon Haig, who wins the AM category. Luke Maxwell in P9 with Kim Andre Bjorklund, P2 in AMs and 10th overall. David Rolliston rounds out your AM podium. Then we have Guy Robertson, Chris Davies, Jack Ashton and Stefan Mellis. That is your top 15. It looks like Christoph Lip has been classed as 16th, so not as far
and
down
what's
as I
happened
thought
to
it was gonna
George
be.
Gonzalez as well? It's showing him as crashing towards the end. I'm gonna have a look at that real quick. Well, it's still up in the session because how is that possible? He's run out of gas as well.
Oh my word!
He's run out of gas. So both of the drivers, and he was running second in the class. Anyway, we got some interviews to go, so we can actually chat to those drivers about that. That is absolutely crazy exciting. Would you like to pull somebody in there, Adam, to have a bit of a yarn there?
You know what? I still don't have the ability to open the door to get people
okay.
in.
Well, we need to talk to the... we'll do it. Okay, so who would you like? We got Tim, we have Maximum, and we have Jürgen.
I mean, go from third up, I guess.
All right, third up. So we'll go with Maximum Schneider. All right, Maximum Schneider, welcome along to the commentary box, my friend. Congratulations on the P3. Are you aware, my friend, of what has just happened up the road and behind you and everything?
Yeah, I mean, I had to save fuel in the end.
Yep.
Because it was really tight and I actually ran out of gas like the last 100 meters before the finish line. And yeah, but it still was close podium, and I'm happy with it.
So you ran out of gas, but right on the line essentially. Like it seemed to be everybody else is kind of running out of gas. Well, you saw a couple of drivers actually probably running out of gas because the race leader was running out of gas. So was that how close it was towards the end? Did you, at the very start of the race, go, look, I'm just going to put what I think would be just enough to get me across the line in the car?
Yeah, at first I was like, I wasn't sure like how much fuel you need per lap, but then I noticed quickly, like at the halfway point, that you need just a tiny bit too much so you can do the whole race. But luckily I was behind someone at the start, so I could save some fuel in the draft. So I didn't have to save that much in the end, but I always had an eye on it, like at halfway point. So that's why I think I just got through with it. And well, unluckily for the first guy and the guy in front of me, yeah, they didn't notice that you need to save a little bit of fuel.
That's true. Great battles that you're also having. Now, just to clarify on the screen here, because you are in the pro class, it's not coming up with the graphics, but you are in the pro class. It's showing as well to a privateer team. Are you in a team at the moment? Just for me to clarify to everybody.
Yeah, I'm in SimRC solo.
Oh, so you got a top 3.
Rudolf Nagel, yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, fantastic. So, Adam, do you have any questions, of course, there for Maximus?
Only one. Because I have not looked into the setups of the car. Are you governed by how much fuel you can take? Like, is that set before you start the race?
Yeah. It yeah, you can't change the fuel, so you had to start with 40 liters. And
wow.
Oh, wow. So everybody started with the same fuel, and you just have to coast manage it during the whole race.
Yeah, I think the last race there was no issue. So I think not everyone saw it or noticed it, and yeah.
Wow.
But I was lucky so that I noticed it in the halfway point. So yeah.
Well, congratulations on your podium position, my friend. You still got 3 positions gained. So anybody you'd like to shout out to?
Yeah, I would like to shout out to my team, and I'm happy that we get a top 3 basically. And yeah.
Excellent.
Nice.
Well, you can hang around here at the moment if you just want to listen to the conversation. What I'm going to do at the moment is I'm going to pull the rest of the team in because we got Jürgen and Tim Birdie. So from the SimRC, we'll pull everybody in and we'll interview one at a time just so that they can hear it live. And also we have Christopher Lipp, so that'll be interesting. So we'll pull them in right now. So hang on. I've got a lot of things to do here. Well, everything's going pole shape for me right now.
You can do it. I believe in you. You can do this.
Trying. All right. Hey guys, 1 second. I'm just going to pull everybody into the interviewing room here at the moment so you can all hear everything. But we'll do an interview one by one because the SimRC obviously have locked up this 1, 2, and 3. So I guess what we'll do real quick before we go to you, Tim and Jürgen, because you've got that one. We couldn't find out what's happened here with Crystal. We have Christopher Lipp here. Thank you very much for coming into the interview room, mate. Well,
hey guys.
Gutted, obviously, right? Gutted. Can elaborate what happened?
Yeah, I think it was a really good race. Pace was good. I was fighting hard to keep the guys behind, and I didn't realize until the second last lap that there is an issue with the fuel, and then it was too late anyhow. And Jürgen was pushing like hell, and I thought, okay, let's just go for it. And anyhow, it's not important for me for the championship because I just had the second race and was just here for fun. And I had the fun. So congrats to Jürgen, Tim, Maximilian. Was a good race.
And I'll ask the next question and over to you, Adam. But obviously your performance has been fantastic since you joined the league, right? You've been right up the top of the timesheets. You qualified pole. You're one of the quickest men around the track. You had a great battle with the other drivers of the SimRC team, and you eventually started to build a gap over them. And of course, we were well aware at the end, which is we're sitting there going, "What's happened? What's happened? What's happened?" And then your car's just basically running on vapors at that point. So yeah, but you should be pretty proud that you're coming into these races, even though you said we're in round 6 and I'm not really fighting for the championship. But this is a good sign for you, isn't it? If you're looking forward to signing up for the next season, that I think a lot of the drivers are going to be well, if Christopher Lipp's in here, he could be winning the championship next season.
Yeah, exactly. It's for fun. I'm really proud in this really strong field to drive in the front. I mean, Kane is not here. If you've seen Kane driving through the week, you would know that he's much faster than me and the other guys, I guess. But anyhow, it's a lot of fun, and as you said, I'm really proud.
This is going to be really awkward. Really, really
Here we
awkward.
go.
But talk us through the moment you realize you're out of fuel. Just to put us in the driver's seat with you so that people watching the broadcast can understand what happened.
Yeah, it was not. I don't know. It was not too bad for me because, as I said, I'm not fighting for the championship. So, as I said, two laps before the race ended, I realized there's an issue with the fuel, and so I was asking in the open chat, guys, do we have enough fuel? And there was no feedback. So I thought maybe I'm the only dumb guy who didn't watch. So it was not too bad for me, honestly. I enjoyed the race.
You weren't actually, because we're just speaking to Maxima before there. He said he was running out of gas essentially across the line, so it was all about just the perfect balance there of the timing. But sorry, Adam, you have another question?
No, I was going to say there was a couple of others that also ran out of fuel or were right on the edge. So yeah, easily done it seems.
Not a dummy, my friend, at all. Don't worry about it. Yeah, Adam.
Yeah, no, I was just going to point attention to Jürgen and to Tim. We saw the overtake to switch positions. You might not want to answer this. Was that team orders?
Oh, whoa! All right.
The original plan was we swap every lap on the straight so we can get the maximum time out of it or the best times. But then I realized I'm just too slow, so I said, Jürgen, just go ahead. I'm following in your draft. That was it.
Yeah, we saw it, and yeah, I've seen my fair share of after you, sir, kind of manoeuvres, and yeah, it certainly looked that way. But fantastic pace from Jürgen. We were saying, you know, you didn't have the best of starts. You dropped back a little bit and had to fight your way back forward, but you certainly came on strong towards the end there with some blinding laps.
Yeah, well, I came here late today because I was at a Nürburgring, and yeah, I just tried to do some laps in the practice session, but I didn't really do the out laps, and yeah, so I completely fucked up the start and the first 2 laps of cold tires.
I gotcha.
Oh,
yep. It's all right, sir. Go ahead. You can say it in German, like "Scheiße." Anyway, continue.
Almost on
the other one. Yep.
Yeah, bad mistakes. At first the start, I released the clutch way too early, and I shifted into second gear and got mega wheel spin.
Oh, you did? Let's have a look at the replay at the start real quick there while you guys you can see my pictures as well too. If you want. Let's have a look. Sorry to add insult in this one. Here it is.
Oh yeah, the wiggle.
I'll just hide the overlay here for a second. Yeah. Okay, but continue. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, and then I had that moment in the Le Mans corners and the exit. I hit the curb on the inside, and the car was jumping like hell. I lost the rear, went into the grass, and I think I ended up in P5 there.
Yeah, but you made it up the rest, yeah.
Yeah, and the fuel was an issue, apparently. But I was many laps in the draft at the beginning, and I watched the cups in the end. And I saw it. It told me I have 1 liter left when the race is finished. So for me it was fine, but I still had in my head that some people could probably run out of fuel if they don't have this in mind. So
and they did.
That was the case.
And they did.
yeah.
So you got the race lead, obviously, because Lip, as you said, he that didn't pan out for him, and he ran out of gas. Well, it was a question, isn't it? I mean, when you're driving your car down, on the motorway, and you're looking at your little gas needle, and the thing's like way below the red symbol, and you're sitting there going, see how far I can push it before I get to a gas station. Is that kind of how it feels when you're in these racing cars, like really running on empty?
Yeah, it's exactly the same.
All right. Anybody you want to? I'll go, Jürgen. Obviously, congratulations for that race win. Anybody you would like to shout out to? We'll talk to your teammate real quick, then we'll wrap it all up. Yep.
Shout out to my teammates and to Christoph. He had a great pace. I was in a great flow in the end, and I was sure I could get him maybe on the last corner. That was my goal, but yeah, his fuel, sadly. But maybe next week.
Excellent. Thank you very much, sir. Now, your teammate, obviously Tim Birdie, that finished in second there for the other SimRC after. Tim, are your views on that race there? Do you, with everything that went for you, my friend?
Someone doesn't sound happy.
So you've been to the team debriefing room, right? You went down to the SimRC headquarters, and they've told you, okay, you're talking to the press now. Say this, say that. All right, come on. You can speak to us. All right, we won't tell anybody out there that's watching.
Okay, I suck badly. I think that's the point. But whatever. Nah, P2 overall good result. I mean, a win would have been nicer. I don't know. I did it like 10 races from Tuesday to Thursday or something, so I expected a little bit more of myself this time. But somehow, after not touching the wheel for some days, I didn't find the rhythm, and I don't know. No feel for the car. Missed tons of apexes. Braking too early, braking too late, and in the end, I could be happy to have Jürgen ahead of me, who pulled me away, and I still could save some fuel. I still ran out like 100 meters before the flag. Run out of fuel, so yeah, probably I can be lucky with it, but I'm not really happy. You know, I never had that much practice for a race, I think, in this league, so a win would have been nicer.
You should be happy, sir, because there's drivers like me who would love just a small percentage of your talent, and we had those problems every race. So be happy you got P2, sir.
No, it sounds like
a Max Verstappen.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like a racing champion, doesn't he? Where he's like, nah. Unless it has a 1 next to it, I'm not happy. But my friend, so does that come down to the question is who's the number one driver in the team? You or any of the other teammates? Come on.
Well, regarding pace, it's probably Jürgen. So I
but
don't
you
know
can't say that if you're going to be disappointed at losing to him, my friend.
I mean, I just found out that it's the case. I expected to be faster than Jürgen today. That's what I was expecting, but I wasn't. So yeah.
And now the team boss is sitting back going, well, you're gonna. I'm sure you're gonna be like, I'm not gonna be a number 2 driver. I am gonna beat. Do you think you can continue to get a couple more wins? Well, not wins, obviously. Anyway, podiums. Just finish ahead of your teammate for the rest of the season.
I don't know. Maybe I need to do the 10 races the days before the league race. That might be worth a try. Otherwise, probably not.
That's not the attitude you get as a driver. You got to say, yes, I'm going to win every time. Anyway, last words, mate. Tim, do you want to shout out? Anybody you want to shout out to?
Yep, my teammates, of course, and heads up, Christoph. Amazing pace. Didn't expect to lose his draft in the beginning of the race. Yeah, you guys from the broadcast, the organizers of the league, and all the fans watching. Yeah, that's it, I think.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So
Thank
that
you
was
too.
Tim Birdie, Jürgen Frank there, and Maximilian Schneider. And we heard, obviously, too, from Christopher Lip that would put it on pole, leading most of the race there. And unfortunately, that gas tank didn't quite have enough juice in it to get him across the line. And he ended up dropping, I think, Christopher, to P16 at the end. I forgot to ask you real quick there, Christopher. Anybody you'd like to shout out to as well, my friend, before we wrap up the stream?
Oh, yeah. Also to you guys, to the 3 winners, and to my brother, the other part of the lip train, who's not able to join, unfortunately. But yeah.
Oh, thank you. And that's actually a great question, because I was talking about, and if you watch the stream back a little bit later on, I know you guys were driving, but I was saying that to Adam, like, I've seen drivers push drivers across the line. And I was kind of thinking, if you had your teammate out there, obviously, as you said, your brother, he probably would have, if he wasn't anywhere, above to get maximum points on the team, get out there and shove you across the line, mate. Maybe lose a few less positions if he was there. Do you think he would do it?
Yeah, if he would be behind me, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe he would be in front of me.
Behind you? You think he'd be in front of you anyway? Well, that's great.
Yeah, he's fast.
Okay. Well, it seems like the Lip family are fast, but unfortunately, my friend, it seems that the CMRC team have enough gas in the tank to be fast. There it is. I was like that. Right. Thank you very much, gentlemen. We're looking forward to seeing the next race, and of course, later on tonight, the Americas one, it will be on here for the Radical Sim Racing. Yep, GG's on that one. I'll let you all go down and celebrate. So, Adam, you want to wrap this one up, my friend? What do you think about the other visit to Sebring here?
It was excitement from start to finish, wasn't it? Another brilliant showcase from these brilliant drivers. Tim Bertie being disappointed with his performance. Why I order old man shaking fist at Cloud. No, fair play. Just having that kind of mentality of I know how good I am, and if I don't perform to that, I will not be happy. Like that's champion mindset right there. So yeah, well done to Tim, well done to Jürgen, Maximilian, and massive commiserations to Christoph and to George Gonzaga as well, because he also ran out of fuel after being in a podium spot for the AMs.
Oh, that's right as well. Yeah, exactly. He's battling it out for the championship in the AM class. So that'll be it from us. Mr. Dean Biggles and Adam Hedgecock. Thank you very much, Adam. Well, I think that was great once again there. We got to interview the drivers kind of all at once there. Sim RC had a fantastic day. Team Lip unfortunately didn't, as well as some of the other drivers there. Insert iRacing team, George. But the winner, of course, we forgot about Gordon Haag for the Sim Racing Norway team. He took the P1, 5 positions gained, finished in P8, but he finished first in his class, and that's all that matters, mate. To finish first, you have to finish. And that they did. It'd be great if he was finished, actually, because if I added nationality, it would have added that to it. But that's it from us. We have to finish this and wrap it all up. Thank you very much. Make sure you tune in for more Radical America's Racing, of course, and many, many more other racing. You can even see Adam himself racing on Mondays and the GP Broadcasting League. That's it from us. Good night, everybody. Stay safe. Take care. Bye-bye.